What's up, artists and creatives? I'm back again with another video, and this one is about selling art again. So, I wanted to talk about just the long term game versus the short term, short sighted game sometimes that we as artists tend to have, and just a few pointers and tips around thinking about that because I realize even some of my students are just in a hurry to make money, big money off of their art. I'm like, dude, just you're 18, chill, relax. You have so much more growth and development to make. To have. Just because you created this dope, and I do mean dope drawing, doesn't mean that you're getting ready to sell it for $300 tomorrow. Or just because you created this beautiful painting doesn't mean you're getting ready to sell it for $1,000 tomorrow because that's what you see artists selling art for. That is not how that happens. It can. Listen, if you know me, you know I believe that anything can happen. All things are possible, right? Um, but let's get into this. Before I do, my name is Maisha Francis. I'm an artist. I'm a teacher. I'm a curator, and now at this point in my life, I'm a coach for artists and creatives to help artists and creators along their journey to just kind of unravel some of the business of art and blossom into their full creative self. Like that's also the part that a lot of artists miss, so they think that cranking out work is also growing and developing, and it ain't. But we'll talk about that later. So anyway, you can always work with me in francisgallery.com/work with me, and I'll put that in the comments below. So boom, let's get into this. So I have a list of things that I wrote down that I just kind of had to realize and recognize for myself on the back end that I wish someone had told me on the front end. All right. A lot of mistakes made. I talk. So the first thing is, I truly believe that selling art is a long term game. It is your career. It is not a get rich quick um, scheme. It is not paint the biggest piece you can possibly paint, put it out there and price it at 10,000. That is not what your life as a creator, as an artist is. So my first thing is to be patient. Be patient, be patient, be patient. Even me, I was not. Opened my first gallery and I had work in there for $2,500. Pieces that I knew because that's what I saw other galleries on the street having. Didn't have any real relationships with people who collected art. Hadn't I just knew that that's what I saw, right? But my advice here is be patient, keep showing, keep networking, and keep developing genuine, true relationships with people who like your work, who understand it, who get it, who want it. Keep educating them about your work, about your journey, about your perspective, about your viewpoint. Um, be patient, be patient. The second thing is, and this is something that a lot of artists don't want to hear. I don't know why, because it is nothing but blessings all day. In the beginning of my journey, I gave away a lot of art. Of course, at first it was family and friends, and then um, nonprofit organizations as well. And sometimes I remember my first part-time art teaching job. I had a beautiful painting, and this kid just touched me, man. He just moved me, and I gave him a nice piece of art that I had spent money and framed and everything. So that's part of the journey. I'm not saying give away everything, right? I've had to turn down a lot of requests, but I believe that giving is a part of this. And it also, helps to develop real, genuine, true relationships. Um, yeah. And I keep saying relationships. That's the next point I actually have. And I said it already in the beginning, but I'm gonna say it again. Develop relationships. Selling art does not happen in a vacuum. I am just now, the last piece I sold, this lady told me, and it was a big piece. This beautiful spirit told me she had been following me for 10 years. But 10 years ago, she couldn't afford this. She couldn't afford it, but she kept, I kept working, I kept sharing, developing as a person, as an artist, as a spirit. And it's funny because she was growing and developing on her same journey. And now here she's able to, shell out that kind of money and just be done with it. And even was like, okay, and I'm coming back, next month or month after to get that one. So, and then, really, I've learned before I was like, it's a sale, it's a transaction, that was that. But I've learned to now really I talk to my clients and customers on the phone. I see how they're feeling, what spoke to them, what about the piece spoke to them, the colors, the movements, whatever. And I want to know, I really open up and, want to know what's going on in their life and share what's going on in my life and how that connection with that art piece and that sale and that change of energy, money, and art happened, and just to bring it back to a kind of sales perspective, that's marketing. You don't even have to, really um market to that person again. Y'all, that person is gonna check in on you or check in with you and vice versa to see what you have that they maybe can add to their home, to their space, to their office. So, take that one to heart. Develop those relationships. Also, too, in developing relationships, it's gonna be the relationships that are gonna get you the big airport commissions. People are like, wow, I wonder how I get that to bid for. Okay, bid. But it's going to be the person that has the relationship. And that's not to say that I don't know if I'm saying I was about to say it's unfair or fair or whatever, but people, A, it's the way the world works. And B, people are also intimidated about what they don't know. So if they can call the artist and say, hey, yo, I have this idea, and they have a relationship with you and they know that you're going to talk to them and talk them through it and, help them unfold their idea, that's who they're going to call you. And I get that a lot of artists are introverts, like to be in our own space, kind of creating and doing our own thing. That's okay. That's fine. Nobody's saying go out there and talk to a gabillion zillion people. I'm just saying one person at a time. I know, introverts like a lot of meaningful conversation one on one. I'm kind of that way, right? So one person at a time. um, I guess I could have said this at the beginning, but I was just writing this, so I'm gonna just say it now. I should have said this under be patient. And I put that if you want to be the next big great artist, that's dope. That's great. That's awesome, right? The next big greatest artist in the world. Okay. But until then, be the best, greatest artist to the people you're serving now, and most of all to yourself. It's a long-term game. It's a long-term game. So that by the time you do get to retirement age, your artist is paving that retirement way. You painting on in your little cottage villa somewhere. You posted or email. You have a list of 50 people that are going to buy one or two pieces. That's all you need. All right. But anyway, I'm not going to get on that. I'm not going to get on that. Oh, but I will say this one thing that one of my coaches just shared with me, and he was talking about the fact that to make $1 million, you only need 1,000 customers or 1,000 people locked into what you do. And that's a beautiful thing for artists. That's deep because you can develop, in those 1,000 people, 100, 150 of them can be real, true, meaningful relationships. You might not talk to all of those people, but maybe once every 4, 5 years, but y'all still connected through text or social media or email or whatever, right? And then the rest of them are, just tuned in to what you're doing because of how it makes them feel and how it blesses their life. Yeah. So the other thing I want to say is, and I'm guilty of this. This is even kind of a vulnerable moment to share it, but I'm gonna share it. And I put that as far as a long-term game, remember it's a long-term game and try to stay away from, like, I don't know no other way to say it other than pimping your art, pimping your talent. I'm not saying don't pick up, work here and there as it comes to you, even if it's not like in your overall mission or statement. Like your friend has you paint spiritual pieces, but your friend has a barbershop and like, can you come paint this barber sign or whatever? Like, go get that. I'm not, go get those dollars. I'm not saying, don't, but what I'm saying is, you buying a stack of 10 canvases and you're just like, I'm going to paint boom because I know that I'm going to paint this because I know I'm going to sell each one for that. Listen, there is some strategy in there. There is. But put some intention behind it on the front end, and I promise you it's going to be more powerful, and you could possibly make more when you do it with more intention, as opposed to just kind of like pimping it and cranking out whatever you think is going to sell. Because at the end of the day, it probably will, but you won't have a sense of connection and fulfillment. And the person who bought it just buying it to put it in the bathroom somewhere for decoration, right? Create with intention. It's a long-term game. Be consistent, but flow. I'm not saying get up and grind and crank work every day. Now, some seasons you have those seasons, right? Where you're gonna be on fire, you're gonna be cranking, you're gonna be grinding. But what I mean is don't stop. Don't stop. Discouragement is easy to come by. Find That's why I have a video called Get Your Spiritual Practices into Place. Get them together. Because when you get to those bumps, you have to have something to lean on, to go in, to help you go within so that you can come back out. And you even can share, you might just send out an email blast like, hey, yo, I miss, y'all, but I just, I'm in this season of reflection. And it just says that you're still consistently growing and moving as an artist. You might not be cranking and putting out work, but you're growing, you're flowing, you're moving. So just stay consistent, year to year, stay consistent. That can look like a whole bunch of different things, but stay consistent. And you know what? I should do a whole video on that one. And then the last thing I want to say is it's a long-term game. So get help. I have artists calling me all the time. What should I price my art at? What have you done? What does it even look like? Should I do this vendor opportunity? The target audience gonna be there? Why? So and it's like these random one-off questions that I can't really help you with because you haven't even mapped out or understood that it's a long-term game and you need to follow your plan. I'm not saying be rigid and structured, rigid all the time, because I don't like rigidity, but there has to be some kind of structure and plan in place and understanding of who and what you are as a creative. And you can only get that when you get somebody else to come in and coach you and help you along the way. I'm saying that because for the first, I'm gonna say 7, 8 years of my journey, it was just me and my partner, which he helped me to figure a lot of things out. Well, I did have a coach here and there, right? Because I was with these different organizations and they would give like business advice and services. But what I'm saying is, if I knew that I needed consistent help, consistent coaching from the beginning, the journey would have been much less painful, much less confusing, much less lonely. And it's just now that I understand the power and necessity of it. So I ended with that because, of course, I'm a plug again. I am here to help artists and creatives reach their highest creative potential, understand the business of selling art, help you look, see differently. And you can work with me. mfrancisgallery.com. I'm going to put the link in the box below. Also, getting ready to launch a 27-day creativity challenge. Super excited about that. So excited. Something just dropped in because it's a 27-day challenge. But once you learn this and you get this methodology, you can do it over and over and over again. And then sometimes when you get like kind of lost or unmotivated or whatever, just jump on another one or jump in another challenge. You might could do 4, 5, 6 months on your own. And then the next year you might need to jump in another challenge. So that's all I have for today. Long-term selling art is a long-term game. Be patient. Give, develop relationships, authentic, true relationships. Be consistent and flow. Don't pimp your work. And get help. It's not a short-term game. It's not. All right, y'all. Peace and love. I'll see y'all on the next video.